Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to our challenge here. And what fun it has been! This is episode number 4, so this is our fourth session. So essentially, this is going to start up our fourth game day into this wonderful challenge. Now, I did fail to do something at the end of my third stream session. I was on my soapbox and I was talking to all the viewers that we had in the channel because I had Mr. Jerry Ott that was a part of the stream, and I was basically talking to my viewers about the importance of making sure that we thank our modding community and everything, because without them, this game would have been dead a long time ago. And I forgot to do something. I forgot to do something very important. So I basically forgot to sleep, go into the sleep session to sort of have Seasons Mod fast forward us to the next game day. So I'm going to do that here as part of this live stream. And so here we go. We're basically on our old guy farms profile. This is the same amount of money that should be referenced in the previous video that I streamed earlier this afternoon. And we're going to go ahead and click continue and allow it to load up into the map. And then we will sleep. Hello, Farmer. Oops. Welcome back to the stream. Glad to have you. We will then, virtually sleep, and then it will stop. The fast forward will stop around 6 a.m. and then we will resume our work. So here we're coming into it's 45, 9:45 or so. The command to do that is left alt N. So I'm going to do left alt N, and we are resting for another day at the farm and snoring away, and here we go. So it's 5:54 in the morning, and if you've sort of noticed the progression as we have somewhat changed through the seasons, we're now in the fourth game day. It is certainly becoming daylight a little bit earlier in the morning, which is obviously a very good thing. So the days are starting to become a little bit longer, and again, that is a really, really good thing. So we are, somewhat at a little bit of a crossroads in a sense, and I've got a whole lot of eggs. I probably need to take them down and sell the eggs, and we will possibly do that here momentarily. But I'm sort of at a little bit of a crossroads in the sense that all of our fields are planted because we've had our soil temperatures have come up to the proper level. If we just kind of bring up alt seasons, and we see there that we're all good to go there with our stuff. It's kind of funny because we did a mission. We did a mission on this field number 19, and that is planted in corn. And we did that mission early this morning, I believe, and that soil temperature certainly was not 50 degrees. So that farmer there may actually lose his stuff there. But anyway, we're sort of at a crossroads in the sense that all of our fields are planted. We do need to fertilize 14 and 12 one more time, but I'm kind of thinking we've got 400 and something thousand dollars, and I'm kind of thinking that even though I would probably like to do a few more missions to build our credibility and everything up with these guys, I'm kind of thinking that maybe we need to take advantage and go ahead and buy a field. Since this one is already planted, and since I'm a little concerned that this field may not come into fruition because of the fact that he had us plant it before the soil temperature was correct for that particular crop, I'm kind of thinking that we may buy field number 24. I was looking at 16 because there used to be a cutover between these two fields. I think that was on Stevie's edit, or maybe it was on the original Goldcrest, and it's not there anymore. So I'm sort of thinking that I want to wait on 16. So let's go ahead and visit 19, and let's see what this guy has to offer. He's selling it for $85,000, and I know that we can't do anything as far as we can't sell our fields at the end of the year, or at the end of the 3 years. But at the same time, we want to do things. We want to stay busy. We want to have things to do. And I think that that's kind of how I want to kind of run things, is to take advantage of that. So we're going to get in our Ford, which we obviously bought today. We'll drop that off, and hopefully this Ford will do fine with plowing. I think our plow is right over here, and it is. And what we will do is we will go ahead, because the other option, I mean, if push come to shove, we don't owe the bank anything. So we could get a bank loan, although I wouldn't necessarily want to do that, for the simple fact that we have sort of tried our level best to make sure that we are limiting our day-to-day funds and everything. And so obviously having a bank loan, come on, get up. Having a bank loan is going to sort of defeat that, but still, again, we want to have plenty to do. I don't really, I will probably do some logging, but I don't know if it's something that really is going to excite me, just for the simple fact that, quite honestly, I'm not that big into the logging. Sort of the way I sort of consider this is farming simulator, and I really like the farming aspects of this. Now, of course, if we get down here and we can't, if we can't plow, if this tractor is not strong enough to pull this plow, then we may have to settle for a smaller plow. So we will just kind of have to see what happens once we get down here. But I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful evening. If you are here in the U.S., obviously it is evening time for you. If you're in some other part of the world, then I hope that your day, quite possibly your Wednesday, is already off to a wonderful, wonderful start. So let's just kind of see what happens here. We'll put in some extra oomph there, and we will hire work. Oops, hang on, let me undo that, because we found out the other day so it's left shift H, and we want to turn the alternative helper off. I wish that would actually save that setting. The AI stuff is actually, I forget what it's called, AI, can't think of it right now. Anyway, it's great for harvesting, not so great for tractor kind of work and stuff. So anyway, we're going to let this hired hand continue to do what she is doing, it looks like, and we're going to come back over here to this guy. Hello, Mark DuPont. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming by. And let's kind of see what our animals are doing as far as what they need. They're going to need some water, and I don't know, will this telehandler pull our water tanker? I know some of these do, because they do have a hitch. I mean, it looks like it has a hitch back there, but now whether or not it will actually pull it, I don't know. We're going to try it. I am trying to avoid, and I know that most likely at some point today I'm probably going to end up buying that second Ford tractor. Mark, I did take your advice. I thought about it, and oh, it does work. Okay. I took your advice and went ahead and sold the JCB and sold the little Sammy, because after I started looking at the daily maintenance costs, and I'll be quite honest with you, Farmer Klein did the exact same thing, and I'm really honestly not trying to copy everything that Farmer Klein does, and I think he actually just went live a few minutes ago as well. But you know, he's got a little bit more experience with this than I do, as far as he's just a little bit ahead of me. And again, I did listen to your advice, and I think you were correct in assuming that the maintenance costs were just going to be something that was just going to plague me, and be sort of something that was going to haunt everything that I did. And so we got out from underneath that. I picked up the Ford TW35 tractor, I believe, and I think that's working out quite well. Right now I've got a hired worker doing some plowing on a field that we just purchased. And as I was telling the stream just a few minutes ago, you know, I know that we are not going to get any money back from fields that we purchased, but at the same time, we need to be able to continue to have fun, and having fun means having things to do. And no, please don't stop giving. Please don't stop giving advice. I promise that if everything goes south on me, I will not blame you. I promise. I promise I will not blame you, sir. You're a wise man. Trust me, I learned that from watching your Mountain Valley farm, and of course, you're like my other dear friend, Eustace Farmer. You guys are wise individuals, and I listen to what you have to say. So anyway, let's see, can we back up here and not let these trees get in our way too much? All right, so we did avoid having to spend any money on a tractor for just a few more minutes anyways. And let's go ahead and go and take a look at their food situation. They've got plenty of hay and grass. I'm not going to waste a bell on that. We do need to tidy up after them just a bit, I think. So we will go and drop this fork off and try not to run over any chickens in the process. We'll just drop it off over here and go clean up after them. I think the bucket is over here on this trailer. This is a, hello Hanks, Hanks a Bud, thanks for watching and thanks for tuning in. This is an edited version of Goldcrest Valley. It was edited by Jerry Ott, old gaming guy. And so this is a challenge that he has set up here. And so it is an edited version of Goldcrest Valley. It's only available for PC, and the challenge, the whole concept of the challenge and everything is there's a link listed down below the video if you're interested in learning what all the rules and regulations and stipulations and all that kind of stuff is for the challenge itself. You can read about that by visiting that link. And there are quite a few different rules and stuff that we have to follow. One of them is we obviously have to use the Seasons mod, which is actually a very good thing, because quite honestly, I just simply cannot play this game anymore without the Seasons mod, just simply because, well, the Seasons mod is just that. It gives us so much purpose. It gives us so much reason to do things at this particular point in time, or don't do things at this particular point in time. And so with that said, we do have to use the Seasons mod. We do have to play with 6 game days per season, and we also have to play at 15 speed time, which is something that is taking, I will admit that when I started this, and I started the first live stream last night, hopefully I didn't bend that gate. When I started the first live stream last night, was episode 1 of this, I completely underestimated just what a challenge it is to manage your farm and everything running at 15x speed. I'm sort of used to having perhaps a little bit of a more laid-back approach, being able to potentially, set and look at the equipment list and say, okay, I think this tractor or that tractor is going to be a good option for us, and maybe scratch my head just a little bit and say, no, I think I'm going to go with this one. You can't really do that when you're running at 15x speed, and we cannot touch the speed control once we started the series. So don't want to cheat. I'm not a cheater, and so it is something that's a little bit different. I had spent so much of my, I would say, early Farm Sim experience, even going back to Farm Sim 15, playing at simply just 1x time, and then I would fast forward as need be. Well, when I started playing with the Seasons mod, at the advice of the team that designed the Seasons mod, and I know that Mark will back me up on this, their recommendation was to basically play at a much faster pace, like 6 game days per season, and play at potentially 5x or even 15x speed, just to kind of make things work out a little bit better. And so I had been doing that on the other map that I'm playing. I do have a Let's Play series that is via a video only, or recorded episodes only, and that is my old my Mountain Valley Farm series. And of course you can watch that. I'm about 10 or 11 episodes in, I think, of that series. And I am running at 5x speed most of the time on that map, and that's working out quite well. But yeah, running at 15x speed, you just don't have a lot of time to just sort of sit and let things be idle, because time will get away from you. I mean, I've been streaming for 15 minutes, and over almost 3 hours have elapsed. Almost 3 hours of game time has elapsed. So you basically have got to get things going and do things when you got things to do. So anyway, that's what we're doing. All right, let me tell you what. What do we need to do here? Definitely, Hank. Winter is going to be something that is going to be a bit unique. Winter is typically a relatively slow period of time for us. And I was kind of thinking that if I do any logging at all, I may do it during the winter time. Of course, Mark, I also said last night I was thinking about doing maybe some hunt the gold nuggets during the winter time. But if we have snow, and of course this area sort of depicts either Colorado or maybe the Pacific Northwest. So, snow is most likely and most possible. That may not be such a good idea to do that. Okay, so that our hired worker is busy working away down at our field that we just purchased, and I need to take a drink of iced tea. That sounds interesting, Mark. I'd be interested in following that progress, and I'm sure that anything that you choose to do with it, even just on your own, will be wonderful. So I think that what we need to go ahead and probably do is go ahead and get this other Ford tractor, because I kind of need to keep things moving here. So one of the other stipulations of the challenge is that we can use mods, but we have to basically make sure that the mods are, priced appropriately, that the daily maintenance costs and everything are also correct and set up correctly, and also that they're not like souped up. We also have to stay below 250 horsepower on our tractors. So I'm just going to take the defaults here. I don't need beacons, but I am going to take the upgraded engine on this one, just so that both of those tractors match up. And of course, this is a huge savings difference from the other tractor. So that is going to be cool. Now, I suppose one thing that we could do, because well, maybe we'll wait till next season. I was thinking that we could take advantage of the manure bonus if we were to spread manure on that field down there. That manure bonus gives us two times the um, fertilization, is what I'm trying to say. At $11,000, $30 a day maintenance. Maybe we will wait on that until the second year, because I would hate to just buy this for one field. And I know we've got sort of a little bit of a workaround. I don't even want to necessarily lease it. Let's just see what the lease cost would be. $900. Yeah, I think I'll just do that field as we've done the other two fields, and then maybe for year two change things up just a little bit. And actually, Mr. Jerry Ott was in the stream this afternoon. I streamed. I streamed this afternoon when I got in from work, and of course he and I were talking about his strategy and my strategy and stuff, and he's got an even different strategy than kind of what I have, and of course Farmer Klein's strategy is also completely different than each of ours. And Jerry's going to do, or he's at least he's thinking about doing, basically all animals at some particular point in time. Come on. And so what I was going to say is that I was talking to him and I was telling him, yeah, you know, what I'm sort of looking forward to is the opportunity to do different things and to sort of change the style and change our strategies and everything sort of each year, because it's going to give us the opportunity to do that if we want to. And I think obviously, you know, expanding the operations. And again, I think that, you know, some folks may take the strategy that, well, since we can't sell our fields, anything that we purchase, they're just going to basically utilize the same 3 fields that we started the map with. But again, I'm trying to do things a little bit different. I'm trying to stick with traditional farming and also a bit of realism as well. So even though we can't sell the fields and I can't necessarily recoup that money when the year or the 3 years is up, we will sell all the equipment obviously, but we'll just have to make do with what we've got here. So anyway, I do want to also just remind everyone that I am conducting a giveaway that's independent of the challenge in and of itself. So the challenge is basically consisting of those of us that's participating in this challenge, and the prize is the option for winning the DLC pack, the expansion platinum package that's coming out in the November timeframe from Giant. I'm doing a giveaway that's independent of that, and I'm giving away 3 copies of that same DLC expansion pack, and each of my viewers that watch my live streams or watch the recorded archives are eligible to win that. And what I do is, during the course of the video, I do provide a keyword that I will verbally say during the course of the video. And when you hear that keyword, if you look down below the video, you'll see all the details as far as what you need to do to essentially take advantage of the giveaway and register for that. And then I will enter you for the contest. And if you win, I will be doing the drawings on November the 6th. So this challenge has to be completed before November 1st. And so this challenge has to be completed before November 1st. And so the DLC comes out, I believe, on November 14th or 15th. So I will be doing the drawing and notifying the winners on the 6th of November. So that'll give me a little bit of time after the challenge is over to sort of go through all of the entrance and do the drawing and all that kind of stuff, and that will be fun. Yes, these are somewhat slow, Mark. That, I suppose, is the downfall. I believe that you may have mentioned that last night. I think this was one of the tractors that you recommended last night when you were talking to me about the JCB. And so yeah, Farmer Klein had also mentioned that as well. So it's kind of a good thing that we've got all of our running around done that we needed to do between the farm and the store, selling all of the stuff that we didn't want at the initial stage, because that fast track came in handy running back and forth to the store. So anyway, thanks all for watching and tuning in. I appreciate you doing that. If you are not a subscriber of the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, please click that subscribe button. And then also, if you don't mind, I know I'm asking you to do so much, but also click the like button. I would appreciate that as well. That sort of serves as a little bit of motivation for those of us that do this. And the reason why I particularly do it, or the reason why I live stream, is because I like interacting with my audience and people, and I have met so many cool people. I mean, I would not have met Mark DuPont well, I sort of met him through Eustace Farmer, but I wouldn't have even met Eustace Farmer if it wasn't for YouTube and the whole content creation stuff. So it's quite cool, and I just really appreciate it. So let's see, Jedco66, hello to yourself, and thanks for liking, and thanks for subscribing. So I will be giving out the code word momentarily. We are about halfway through this episode. I basically, under most normal conditions, I will play, and of course the rules do stipulate that we do have to play from 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. and then after 9 o'clock we can use the built-in fast forward feature of the seasons mod to accomplish that task. And so again, sort of thinking about the realism factor with real life farmers, while I fully understand, and I even myself have to pull the all-nighter every so often, and I will tell you that it's much harder to do it at almost 51 years of age than it was when I was about 30 something, but anyway, I digress. I do know that farmers work awfully late, and sometimes they may go a day or so without sleep during the harvest season and everything. And I suppose, even though there's no rules that say that we can't farm from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or dawn to the next dawn, I'm sort of erring on the side of realism and knowing that a farmer just could not keep up with that sort of lifestyle for very long. So again, I'm sort of sticking with a traditional concept of farming from dawn to dark 30, or 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Hopefully I can get all the work that I need to get done within that period of time, and that kind of keeps with the realism factor. And also just doing other things, like I do have crop destruction turned on. That was not necessarily a requirement, but it's just sort of my own rules. And as I was kind of talking about in the live stream this afternoon, I love simulation-based games, and to be quite honest with you, this is the only type of game that I play are simulation-based games. I don't really do first-person shooters and stuff like that. It's not that I have anything against those types of games. It's just that I just don't play them. They don't necessarily appeal to me anymore. And so we will go ahead and take this guy on back to the main farm. I guess had I known that he was going to get done as quickly as he did, I guess I would have deferred buying that other tractor. But hey, we need 2 tractors on the farm because there's always something that we can use a hired helper for. But in any event, what was I saying? Realism and simulation-based games. If I'm gonna do something, if I'm gonna play a game, if I'm gonna play a simulation-based game, I want there to be, something to focus on, some level of immersion. And I like that about this challenge, because it is making me think about this, and it's taking me outside of my comfort level. And I think that from time to time, we all need that, right? We all need to sort of step out of our safe space, if you will, and do something a little bit different. So that's kind of what this challenge is doing for me. I got off to a really rocky start last evening when I started episode 1. It was like as if, and I even rewatched the video, and it was almost as if I was brand new to Farm Sim 17, and I have 700 and something hours on 15, and I've got almost 500 hours or 400 and something hours on 17. So I'm not new to the game or not new to the simulation, but I'm completely new to the concept of letting my time race away from me, sort of as it appears here to do. So we're going to let's see, what are we going to do? We're gonna park this guy because I suppose we could have left him. Maybe no, we couldn't have. Change of thought. That was a bad idea. Let me see. Let me get back to this guy here and take him off follow me. So the other one of the other rules is that we can only use one hired worker at a time, which I think also is kind of good, because if you think about it, what we are doing is we're sort of mimicking a small operation where Farmer Joe or Farmer whoever, in this case me, Farmer Jerry, basically has a very small farm, and he's got maybe one hand that he can sort of rely on and call upon to help him out whenever he needs a little bit of help on the farm, but we essentially don't have 5 or 6 or whatever guys helping us. And that's kind of cool, because it also makes us think, because I might, if I'm playing on Mountain Valley Farm, for example, which is my series that I'm currently. Hang on, what's going on? Why are we stuck? Are we stuck on that? I think we're stuck on that. There we go. All right, where there's a will, there's always a way, right? But anyway, if I'm doing another map or something, if I need to move some equipment from point A to point B, I may not even, just out of sheer habit, set up a follow me with 2 or 3 or more drivers moving equipment around. And of course you got to think about that, and you can't do that, because if I'm paying a guy to plow down on a field like I was doing on our newly purchased field, then I can't use a follow me guy to pull to drive another tractor. So it makes you think. It keeps you always thinking, keeps you on your toes. Now, while I'm talking about staying on your toes, I will just plug all of my good friends in the Farm Sim content creation community. There are so many. My list is growing all of the time. If you look down below the video screen, you will find links to YouTube channels, like, for example, Mr. Mark DuPont, who's been in the stream saying hello to us a little bit tonight, and also guys like Eustace Farmer. And I will just say that if you haven't watched Eustace Farmer's most recent video, you need to watch it. He did a video and released it, I believe it was yesterday, where he talked about local farming and the importance of buying local, and keeping your money and everything in the community. And I know I talked about this a little bit this afternoon, so I'm not going to go all the down that road and everything, because I think I probably climbed on my soapbox a little bit this afternoon. But go check out that video, because it really sort of made me think and sort of appreciate my local farmers, my local farmers market and such. My wife and I, we try to buy local every chance that we can get, and yeah, it's just a good thing. And it's just basically a video that he made. He went down to his local little farm co-op. There's a few guys there that run a little farm, and Eustace took some video of some of the equipment, some tractors that they use, and some of the fruit and veg, I guess mostly vegetables, that he purchased there. So it's a great video. It's short. It's only, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, and it will be perhaps the best 10 or 15 minutes that you will spend today, maybe except the 10 or 15 minutes that you're watching my channel. Also, good storytellers. Again, Mark DuPont, and I'm not just talking about Mark because he might be listening. I would say this if he wasn't on here as well. Again, I sort of learned about Mark through Eustace Farmer, and sort of got turned on to his series that he did on Mountain Valley Farm, and I'm like, I'm looking for a map that is small, because I kind of want to go back to doing small things, because I was doing large-scale farming on Lone Star, and of course on Stevie's Pine Cove Farm I had 20 or 30 pieces of equipment. I had pretty much everything that you could imagine that you would want to do on a big scale farm, and I was really looking for something that would sort of take me back to small roots. And I watched his series, and he's a wonderful storyteller. And there's so many wonderful storytellers in the farm sim community, and I've got their links all down below. Reefy 1952 is another great storyteller, him and the Bipolar Prophet. If you're looking for YouTube farm sim content that has good, wholesome, healthy, clean living and everything that's associated with it, check out those channels and subscribe. And of course, Farmer Klein, he's a good friend of mine, and he's also doing this challenge, and so he's ahead of me a little bit as far as the number of episodes and the number of game days that he has gotten through, but I'm slowly catching up to him. And so there you go. And let's see, we're about 37 minutes into the stream, and it's almost 2:30 in the afternoon. So as you can see, time will get away from you if you're not careful. Basically, when you're playing at 15x speed in this sort of situation, you're going to want to make sure that you get your cup of water or your tea, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to get done, because if you take the time to go and get yourself something to drink or go to the restroom really quick, you'll lose about a half hour to 45 minutes pretty quick. So I asked the stream this afternoon, and my apologies if anybody was in the stream earlier this afternoon, because I'm going to ask the same question again. I'm just curious as to if any of you, or how many of you that are willing to sort of chat about it, talk about it with me, took advantage of the crowdfund opportunity with Cattle and Crops, and what your opinions of that game basically is in its early release format. And I will freely tell you what my opinions are. I was very excited about Cattle and Crops when I first heard about it. I very quickly gave them my money many months ago, pretty soon after they started the crowdfund plan or program. And yes, I was a little disappointed when I learned that they were not going to meet the March commitment, but I understand. Excuse me. I understand, because I work in the world of IT, and there are times that things, plans change and stuff doesn't get done as you think it does, or there's problems or whatever, and you don't want to roll out something that is going to cause problems for your customers or your new customers. And so you put the brakes on and you stall, and you throw caution to the wind, and you say, okay, we need some more time, I was fully understanding of that. I was even fully understanding of that, and I've said this many times on my channel, that even up to the point when they released what they did release to us finally, I was still okay with the fact that it took them that length of time to do that. However, I will tell you all that I got rather disappointed when they did release the demo that they released to us several weeks ago now, when I realized that the third-party controller or hardware support was so lacking and so difficult to try to use and everything. I would think that with the number of people that have hardware, whether it be Logitech or Cytec or whatever, I would think that they would have sort of from the get-go, out of the box, basically, made sure that all of that was working well, and basically not assuming that everyone plays with keyboard and mouse. Now, I know that a lot of people do play with keyboard and mouse. I know that there are people that have expensive hardware setups, G27s or G29s or whatever, and occasionally they sort of fall back to using keyboard and mouse, and that's acceptable and everything. But I think the assumption that you could roll out a product with very limited hardware support was just somewhat foolish in my opinion, and I struggled with it. I spent maybe about 45 minutes, maybe an hour of my life the day that it came out trying to get my G27 to work with it, and I could get certain functions to work okay, but then as soon as I would exit the game and come back in, it forgot all of that. And so I'm like, something, I will check back at this later down the road, maybe whenever they update it a couple of times, and I will see how it goes. And I'm hopeful, because obviously I'm an investor, I'm a customer. I want it to work because I would like very much for their ideas to come into fruition, because I really do think that they have some solid ideas as to how a farm simulation or an agricultural simulation game should work, but it's not ready for prime time with what they have. And I'm concerned that their plan is to release this thing full blown, or at least it was originally to be released sometime in the fall or late 2017 time frame, and I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it'll be ready by then. I really don't. Hello, Chris Webb. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the stream, my good friend Chris Webb. Thanks for tuning in, Chris. I appreciate that. Mark DuPont said he funded Cattle and Crops as an incubator for farm sim ideas, but I feel they seriously misunderstand that the last 5% is half the battle. We will see. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm still going to pay attention to what they put out, and obviously, since I've already invested, I will test and try whatever they send down the pipe. Whatever happens to come onto my PC, and I will give it a try and see how it works. But it's just, I'm not gonna be their tester and do it with keyboard and mouse. Life is too short. Farm Sim 17 has its challenges and it has its weaknesses and everything, but I think that hopefully Giants is working on making what would be Farm Sim 19 better, because obviously that's going to be the next big thing. I don't think that the Platinum package is really going to change the core infrastructure of the game that much. I think we're going to get some new equipment, we're going to get some maps and stuff like, or a new map and some new fruit types. Sugarcane, I think, is the big thing. But I don't really think that it's going to, I don't think it's going to be, everything that we want an agricultural based simulation game to be. I think it will just take some time before that can happen. All right, so Chris says, just got home from the road, so I have to watch your 3 previous live stream videos. Glad I'm catching this one live. Yeah, and I think I tell you what, and I don't want you all, I don't want to hear this giant slamming of the door when I release the code, but I try to release it at different times for each video. It's not always at the very tail end. I'm not that cruel. So we do still have maybe another 15 or so minutes before we get to the magic hour of 9 o'clock. So I will tell you what the code is for today. The code for episode number 4 is Ford, as in Ford tractor or Ford Model T, something like that. So that is what the code is for today. So we're going to park this. I want to park this guy over here, I think. All right, especially since I had some difficulties getting that guy out of the other storage bay over there. We're going to leave him right under there. Now somebody had asked in my stream, maybe it was last night, I was doing more or less the same thing that I had done on this episode, where I started plowing, and I need to go check the water over here at the greenhouses, but I'd started plowing, and then I fertilized, and then I cultivated, and somebody said, well, you know, I could see directly over the plowed field, and that is true. But again, it kind of goes back to the realism factor that I'm trying to achieve. I'm not a real life farmer, but I have been told from real life farmers that they pretty much will that they will pretty much cultivate after they plow. So we are at 46% on the water level on that one. It looks like I spilled some manure there. So we'll have to pick that up, and then 40% there. So I think we will go ahead and top our water off. That way we don't necessarily have to feel like that we've got to worry about that tonight and lose sleep over it. And if we get distracted tomorrow, if we're gonna have these greenhouses, if you're going to have anything like that, which basically is relatively easy to maintain, all it requires is water and manure, just like the sheep only require water and grass and or hay. You are really missing out on opportunities if you don't keep those things running, because you might as well keep them running. It takes only a little bit of effort to do that, and of course, I guess if I would have known that those guys needed water, I would have put water in them before we parked the trailer. So let's see, 83% as we go around the tree. We will just go and empty this over there. Let's see, Mark says already I think seasons and courseplay and AI extension are all inspired by Catalan crops. The modders are, as usual, carrying the game maybe as it should be, and I think you're right. And I think that I don't know, Mark, if I think you were around for 15 and earlier versions, but I think that if Soil Mod could come to Farm Sim 17 and work in conjunction with the Seasons mod, not necessarily fight each other, but actually, and I know that the Seasons mod developers and the soil mod developers, I know that they have talked. I know that they at least at one time were working together. As I take another swig of iced tea. So obviously anything that if soil mod were to come to Farm Sim 17, it would obviously work, and it would work quite well, I think, because those guys are all smart people. But I think if we could get something like that, that would certainly help out tremendously. And you're right. I mean, the modding community, and that's kind of why I went off on my soapbox at the very tail end of my stream this afternoon, is because we, as the gaming community, is just the gamers themselves. And I'm not calling out anyone in this stream, and I'm not putting myself into this category, but I'm just using the term we as a general way of identifying the community. We don't treat our modding community very well. We steal from them. We take ownership of mods that we had nothing to do with, and we upload to sites, and we share. We manipulate it maybe just a little bit, and then call it our own, and all those kind of things. And you go to Facebook and read the post that Bullet Bill wrote just recently, it's somewhat saddening, and you can sense that guys like that who have worked tirelessly for us, because let's face it, if it weren't for the modding community, this game would have been over for me after about maybe a month or so. I mean, we would not still be playing it this deep into the year, I don't think. So let me look really quick on the map and see, is there any other place that we can sell eggs on this map other than downtown? There used to be a place up here, but I think that was on Stevie's edit. And I think that the other egg place is down here, so we may be forced to drive down there. I really don't want to teleport because that's kind of breaking immersion, so we're just going to drive our slow forward down there and just enjoy every minute of the process. Maybe we'll be there and back before 9 o'clock. We're not going to make that much on the eggs, but I don't really have anything else to do. What I'm going to do with that field that we just bought is we're going to most likely put soybeans in that field. I'm going to try maybe, and again, I took the advice of Mark, and I promise I'm not going to hold him responsible if things go south, but I don't think they will. I am going to I'm going to most likely lease the combine whenever it comes time for harvest, but I'm sort of thinking in my mind that I want to keep the crops fairly consistent so that maybe we only have to lease, and or if we were to buy, only have to buy one type of header. So in other words, today in the afternoon live stream I planted wheat, barley, and canola. So we could basically use a grain header for that, and then I'm sort of thinking maybe when the soil temperature comes up to soybean level, going with soybeans. Soybeans have been good for me, or good to me, in the past as far as being able to sell them locally. We've got a good, I think that maybe the egg sell point is down here. We've got a good community. Oh, look at there, found it the first time. We've got a good community here in this little community, and they like to buy local, and I don't like those question marks. So $450 worth of eggs, not bad. Not bad at all. So anyway, 6:15, just a few more hours, and then it will be time to lay our head on the pillow and sleep, and put an end to episode number 4 of our little live stream adventure. Take my little shortcut here that I sort of used to do in the old Goldcrest Valley. But anyway, what I had told the afternoon bunch was that, if you enjoy a mod that's out there on the mod hub, the Giants mod hub, go and rate it a 5-star, or if you run into modders, like for example, Mark and I are both members of Jerry Ott's Facebook group, the Old Gaming Guy Facebook group, and tell him thank you. And he was on my stream this afternoon, and I think that was maybe one of the reasons why I stepped up on my soapbox, was because I wanted to make sure that he knew that we really do appreciate the modding community. We appreciate them very, very much. And but if you see, if you involve, or if you are members of forums and stuff like PCSG as an example, Stevie. And I know everyone knows who Stevie is, because Stevie creates some of the best maps for Farm Sim 15 and 17 that I've ever seen. And Stevie is a member of PCSG, and he has retired for multiple reasons, but one of the reasons why he retired early was because of sort of the whole theft issue and how all that works out. So post a note on, or send him a private message on PCSG and just say, Stevie, thank you so much for your hard work, and we really appreciate it. I bet that would make him smile, and he would really, really be tickled with that. Chris says, if soil mod came and worked with seasons, that would be fantastic. Yeah, it would. Now that would be a lot of hard work. Now I don't know if I don't know if I would I don't know how that would work out in a challenge like this, as an example. Again, it might be just a little bit too much, but definitely it would give us so much more to do, and I think it would be quite cool. to have that available. So grab this, and I just want to be on the safe side because I'm not 100% certain that let's look here. I'm not 100% certain that that wool point is going to run out of space. And again, I don't want to run the risk of not being able to produce wool. So I'm guessing it probably will hold more than one pallet, but I think we will just err on the side of caution if we can get these pallet forks on there, under there. And we will go ahead and take this out. It's 95% full, but that's okay. Now, of course, we're going to, oops, we're not going to go there. Come on. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to, obviously, unless we are just broke and have lost our mind, we are always going to sell at the high demand. And so we're going to basically do that with wool. I think, let's see, where could we place wool? I think we'll put wool over here for right now. We may end up having to move it if our sheep make more wool than that. But anyway, we will definitely, oops. We will definitely always try to sell at a high demand. I will tell you, and if you guys watched my Lawfold series and Chris Webb there, he's playing Lawfolds, but the whole wool situation on Lawfolds was very, very good to me. And if you catch it at a high demand, and if you can basically, you know, pace yourself, if you can basically wait until the high demand comes, then the payment is pretty darn good. So most likely we will end every game day much like we begin it, by doing a little animal cleanup, because that's what we've got to do. And right now at the present time we only have sheep on our farm. To me, quite honestly, if I'm playing something where I don't really am concerned about money and everything, and I do, you know, I've said this so many times, and I know Chris knows exactly what I'm going to say, and maybe some others, you know, there's no right or wrong way to play the game. Play it how you want to experience it, play it how it makes you feel. But if I'm, you know, obviously not in a money crunch type situation, I will play with all three animal types, including pigs. But I think that for this challenge, even though Jerry plans to buy pigs, pigs are probably going to be the last thing that I would consider as far as putting on this map as far as animals are concerned. It's possible that maybe year 2 we might look at some cattle, depending on how well we did from year 1, and see how that goes. Because obviously our animals, we can sell those guys at the end of the 3 years. We can't sell our fields, but again, that's okay. We'll just have to make do with that. But I would rather have things to do than necessarily sit around and worry about not being able to sell a field. So I don't know as far as the field situations are concerned. I'm just kind of looking at our inventory of fertilizer. I don't know how much is left. No, that's not. Oh, that's a default feature of Farm Sim 17. Brandon Smiley, thank you so much for subscribing. I panicked there for a minute because I thought, oh, please don't tell me that what's that mod that we can't use? I can't think of it right now. Anyway, we can't use it, but I thought I had somehow or another activated it. But no, that's picking things up is a feature of the game. It's just that other mod that we can't use gives us Superman strength, and that's obviously not allowed. So Mark says, by the way, a full spawn point does not stop wool production when you remove the pallet. It will catch up. Okay, a game extension, that's it. Thank you. Bing, bing, bing. Mark's the winner. All right. Well, let's kind of look at our finances and kind of see how things are going. Our animals are doing well for what we have. We have used up a lot of fertilizer, as we can see there. I think we may have enough, pending that we don't buy any more fields. So all that looks good. I was kind of looking to see how much we may have made in selling of things, selling of property income, new fields. Okay, we bought that field. New vehicles, we've bought some vehicles. Where do I see? Do I see income that we've made from like the greenhouses and stuff like that? Harvest income, would that show up there? Um, or is that just kind of thrown into property income? Probably. I would guess that's where the greenhouse profit comes in at. So, obviously the greenhouses cost us a little bit of money, but I think just, it's something to do. Um, you know, I I'm going to play this as hard. Hello, Darren Montana. Welcome to the stream. Um, so I will just, because there's some folks that have joined the stream a bit late, I will be kind to you all and tell you what the word of the day is, and I will just let me just save the game right quick, because since I don't have game extension mod, I haven't taken the time to look for the autosave mod, which I threw away because game extension included that, but I want to make sure that I find it again. But anyway, Boss Attack, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. So I am running a contest that's independent of the challenge situation. I'm giving away 3 copies. Danish Thinker, thanks for stopping by the channel. I'm giving away 3 copies, 1, 2, 3 copies of the Farm Sim 17 expansion pack that will be released in November, I think on November 14th. It is the Platinum Expansion Pack. I'm giving away 3 copies, and each of my viewers can register, could enter for a chance to win one of those 3 copies. Now, the way that it works is all the information is below, and you can enter as many times, or you can enter up to 1 time per episode, pending that you listen for the word of the day, the code word. And the code word for this episode, episode number 4, is the word Ford, as in Ford tractor, Ford Model T, Ford F-150, Ford, Gerald Ford, the president, etc. That is the code word of the day. You find the information, the instructions on how you register to enter, and I will register you in my drawing, and we'll be giving away 3 copies of that DLC. We are almost at 9 o'clock, so we work from 6 a.m. or roughly 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So as soon as it becomes 9 o'clock here, and we are 2 minutes away from that, I will save the game. I will fast forward through the seasons mod, and then we will end the stream. So I'm just going to save the game just in case something happens, because that stuff does happen from time to time. My menu, so that is left alt in, and we will go to sleep for a few minutes, and when we finish sleeping, it will be morning, 5:30 in the morning. I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to save again, and then I'm going to quit the game to the main stream, or the main screen, I should say. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank all of you guys for watching. I live stream because I like to interact with you. I like to make new friends. I've known Chris for several months because he's been a viewer of my channel, and he and I bounce emails off each other and stuff from time to time. And so I enjoy this. It helps pass the time with my evenings and everything. I'm going to go upstairs and spend some time with the wife now, and I'm going to wish you all a very good evening, and be good to each other, take care of each other, and have a wonderful Wednesday wherever you are in the world. The stream freaking sucks. Take it down. Okay, well, thanks, Zachary. I appreciate the feedback. You have a wonderful day, and take care now. And God bless you all. And, sticks and stones, buddy. So take care all. Good night, and I'll see you all the next time. Take care. Bye-bye.